Sports Complex here on the campus of Youngstown State University, as we are just about ready to get things going in a midday non-conference.
And this team themselves have a lot of offensive firepower.
Most definitely. Both teams' starters getting their last-second talks over with their coaching staffs. Let's meet the starters for today's matchup. First, for the visiting Revolutionaries from George Washington. In numerical order, number 1, Phoebe Malarkey. Number 3, Kiki Rote. Number 4, Katie Hipp. Number 5, Emma Nowakowski. Number 8, Alex Ofiero. Number 10, Bailey Aaron. Number 12, Stella Ray. Number 14, Haley Bolton. Number 21, Everly Kessler. Number 23, Desiree Kleberg. Number 39, Parker Kranz. And in goal, number 33, Mia Caro. We'll meet the starters for Youngstown State after we get today's opening face-off through, and we get action going here today. Both teams' starters now out onto the field. Haley Bolton for George Washington will be out on our. And coming into today, John, I kind of figured that was something where George Washington could really take advantage of Youngstown State. The Revolutionaries have out-controlled their opponents in draws 115-88 this season. They control our first draw today, but Youngstown State will now get going once again with possession behind the George Washington net. It'll be Emma Hoffman with it for the Penguins. Not even a minute underway here in our first quarter so far today. Penguins looking to draw first blood. They're working it around the perimeter of the net. Cook with it, her shot. It's going to be Katie Grotenthaler with this chance for YSU. Grotenthaler shoots, and the top right corner of the net is perfect. Katie Grotenthaler with the first goal of today's action, her 6th of the season, and Youngstown State gets on the board first.
For the Revolutionaries, a little breakdown inside the cage there, and just a nice throw over the top of Caro, and it was tough for Grotenthaler. But just, again, a nice throw and being able to get it off the stick, just a great execution. Penguins are able to strike first. And again, great execution down the stretch.
Now we'll see if Youngstown State can ride that momentum. Back to midfield. The final non-conference tune-up here of this week to get ready for conference play. And there's a save for Borkowski. Nice job by the freshman goalkeeper of the Penguins.
And for Borkowski, she's coming off that game against Stetson 2 games ago where she set the single game saves record. So as a freshman, to be able to do that feat, and to accomplish that, it's no tall task.
But an unsuccessful clearance, and George Washington will get possession right back. So a miscue there from the Penguins. We'll see if the Revolutionaries can take advantage from it. Driving down the left side, getting in the middle. Heavy collision, the shot's off the mark. Shot was attempted by Nowakowski, but the Revolutionaries will retain possession. 60 seconds on the shot clock, so still a lot of time to work with if you're George Washington. You know they're not going to go 0 for all day, so you cannot continue to give them these good. The shot and the goal. George Washington gets on the board. Kiki Rote finds the control of the afternoon. 9:54 to go in our first quarter. A goal by Kiki Rote put the Revolutionaries on the board, and they control another draw.
Well, for the Revolutionaries, Haley Bolton is the athlete you want to, draw those draw controls. 28 coming into today.
And to mention, that was the 4th goal of the season for Kiki Rote. It looks like we're going to have a penalty on Allie Garrett of Youngstown State here with 9:42 remaining in our first quarter. It's a green card penalty, so George Washington will be playing a woman up here for the next minute. Revolutionaries have possession. The Youngstown State goal was scored by Katie Grotenthaler while they were a woman up, so now we'll see if George Washington can take advantage here on their end. Pass was right into the turf, and that's going to be a turnover. Youngstown State will get it back. I don't think that pass was deflected. I think it was just came off the stick a weird way, and it just catapulted right into the turf and went out of play.
The defense has to focus on her on the left.
Jenna Cook driving inside. Defended heavily by Rote. A little bit too heavily as a foul is going to be called on Kiki Rote. That's going to give Jenna Cook a free position opportunity working from the right side of the net. Jenna Cook, freshman out of Fairfax, Virginia. She'll drive inside. The shot and the goal. Jenna Cook with her 6th goal of the season. Youngstown State will regain the lead, and the Penguins once again will be playing from in front.
And for the Revolutionaries, they have had a tough time this season on the free position opportunities. Now they have 18 that they've let up compared to only 15 that they've had. So again, if the Penguins would like to take opportunities, really that advantage, they're going to have to capitalize on those free position opportunities that they get.
That'll take us to a media timeout. Youngstown State on top of George Washington 2-1 with 8 minutes, 20 seconds remaining in our first quarter.
Good one. Yeah.
Since the beginning and saved us enough on our insurance to help us open our 2nd location.
Auto Owners offers discounts for life, home, car, and business insurance because they think the more you protect, the more you should save. That's simple human sense.
Ask the Griffith Agency in Girard if auto owners make sense for you.
Who are you talking to anyway?
It's a commercial.
Welcome back inside the Cavelli Sports Complex. Halfway through the first quarter here at Farmers National Bank Field. Anthony Romo, John Ostapowicz back here on the call. Penguins on top 2-1 after an 8-meter shot and a goal from Jenna Cook. Youngstown State, 2 goals by Grotenthaler and Cook. George Washington's lone goal so far is by Kiki Rote. It's playing a woman down, but Allie Garrett was able to come back onto the field. Gave someone else for George Washington to kind of keep a hat on. And Jenna Cook had the free position opportunity, and she took advantage. Pass inside, off the mark, but a foul will be called. It's going to be on the Revolutionaries. And Youngstown State's going to have another free position chance here. This one from Ava Kreutzer. John, we were talking about her pregame. She's had a very good last 2 matchups, but that shot is saved by the goalkeeper, and Mia Caro.
And Mia Caro, she let a couple up already, but she did a great job there being able to read where that ball was going. And Mia Caro has looked really good this season, but last season she recorded a lot of minutes in that cage.
And yeah, you know, we talked about it the last time out against Longwood. That's kind of the struggle for Youngstown State earlier on in the season. They only have 1 goalkeeper currently on the roster, and that's a true freshman in Paige Borkowski, as the Revolutionaries tie this one back up with another goal right there. That one scored by Bailey Aaron, and we are all tied up at 2. We'll take another look right here. Aaron, nice stutter step, gets past the defender to the right side and whips that one past the stick of Borkowski.
And for Borkowski, she has faced a lot of shots this season. So 226 total, 109 goals allowed. And again, it's tough, especially when you're a freshman trying to stand in the back of the cage and, you know, try and grab as much as you possibly can, but you would like your defense to try and prevent them from getting close to that area.
9th goal of the season for Bailey Aaron. And as I was saying, that's kind of the struggle Youngstown State has with Paige Borkowski. Now, it's going to work out in the long run, but having a true freshman in the goal here, there's going to be some growing pains with Borkowski. She's faced a lot of shots this season. She's averaging 37% save percentage so far this season, but against Stetson back on March 4th, she had a program record 20 saves in that game, and she's had double-digit saves 3 times this season already.
3 Power 5 opponents on the schedule.
Driving inside was Grace Rund. Her shot's off the mark. Penguins will keep it, though. 30 seconds on the shot clock. Grotenthaler from the left side, trying to get it towards the middle. She'll pass it behind the net. You can start to hear a defense chant from the George Washington sideline. 15 seconds on the shot clock, but we're going to have a foul on the Revolutionaries. It's not a free position attempt, but the Penguins are given some space here.
We saw number 13 Caroline Tone come up, put her stick up, kind of checking the offense for Youngstown State a little bit.
Another shot off the mark, and that's going to be a shot clock violation. A great defensive possession for that was a goal, excuse me. Thought that shot was off the mark. Youngstown State will reclaim the lead. So the Penguins battling back once again. We're going to take another look at this drive right here. Rund going inside. Gets it past the goalie's stick. In my defense, John, I did see the bounce, and I thought it was to the right of the net because the net didn't shake or anything.
Just shows you how clean it was, especially a little bounce pass on the ground there. And again, it just looked clean. Grace Rund, goal number 9 for her on the season.
Rund had 2 goals the last time out against Longwood. It is now 6 consecutive games that Rund has put it into the cage. Youngstown State here with just over 5 minutes remaining in the first quarter, reclaim a 3-2 advantage. And you talk about that possession, that can be a backbreaker there early on. George Washington held strong for almost the entire possession, of the shot clock. And as it hit 0, Rund found the back of the net.
And Rund really has stepped up a lot. A freshman, you know, we've talked about the true freshman term a lot, and there's been a lot of freshmen and sophomores on this Penguins team that have stepped up in a huge way.
Coach Rob Harris, in his first year at the helm, has a lot of true freshmen out on the field. A tough pass from the Revolution, their own. Youngstown State looking for their first 2-goal lead of the afternoon. 3.5 minutes to go here. So it looks like we got everything straightened out. Brooke Peck's going to have another chance. And you can't really have a better free position opportunity than this one right here, straight away from the net. Brooke Peck, another freshman, driving in the shot and the goal. Brooke Peck with her 5th goal of the season. And Youngstown State finally able to build some cushion to their lead as they have now doubled up the Revolutionaries 4-2 as we take another look at this Brooke Peck goal.
And again, Brooke Peck there, 3 defenders there, just got over the goalie. Caro caught off guard and Youngstown State able to capitalize. But for the Revolutionaries, those free position attempts have really hurt them already here early on.
4-2 now, Youngstown State. We mentioned Peck, another freshman on this year's team. She had a season-high 2 goals against Stetson on March 4th. That was the last time she scored. So she's able to get it back into the net. And the Penguins back out on top. Shearer and Bolton back on our draw.
For the Penguins, they have 7 freshmen on this team. A lot of newcomers as well. Completely different team than it was last year.
Another chance here for Youngstown State to have possession as we're now under 3 minutes to go here in our opening quarter. Both teams led by first-year head coach, as we mentioned, Rob Harris for Youngstown State, Colleen McCaffrey for George Washington. I think both teams are going to benefit from it, especially George Washington. Coach McCaffrey has a very good coaching resume before she arrived here with the Revolutionaries.
Yeah, Roma, you're absolutely right. She served as the associate head coach at Bryant for 1 season and led the Bulldogs to one of their most successful seasons in program history, 12-5 overall and 7-1 in the NEC.
And the Bulldogs also made an appearance in the conference title game last season. Then as you take a farther look down the list, she spent 5 seasons as an offensive coordinator at University of Virginia. And Virginia, that's a hotbed for lacrosse.
She
Penguins
led them 50-38 overall throughout her career there.
University of Virginia, one of the top men's lacrosse programs historically. Under 2 minutes to go in the first quarter, 15 seconds on the shot clock. Peck with it once again. Youngstown State had a very good down the line, could benefit these teams very well.
Yeah, and for the Revolutionaries, when they took on UMBC, that was back in February 7th.
So far in the non-conference slate that have had the best conference the best record in the conference thus far, 4-5 overall, so a very good start to the season for the Zips. Youngstown State on top, 5-2, as we resume play. Towards the end of our first quarter of play. Very sunny, beautiful day here Especially way better than Saturday, where we had rain for the entire game of Youngstown State versus Longwood. I'm sure both teams are feeling a lot better out on the turf than they were Saturday as well.
Well, Romo, it's only going to get warmer today. It's
That's
later
true.
up near the just below 70 degrees, but still it's going to feel like that.
Puts a smile on your face just thinking about it.
Sure does.
Shot clock and game clock separated by 4 seconds. Jenna Cook with it for the Penguins. Stutter step, trying to spin off the defender. She'll pass it off, very cluttered towards the middle of the George Washington defense. 3 consecutive goals from the Penguins after George Washington tied it up at 2 apiece. Kreutzer will pass it off to Jenna Cook. Now over to Grotenthaler. I will give credit to the Revolutionaries defensively. It's been a combination of Youngstown State being patient, but as well as the Revolutionaries continuing to put hat on each Youngstown State player on offense here. They're not giving the Penguins any easy looks.
Well, that's with their speed, especially that they're able, you'll see a double team enacted on the defensive end, but then they'll be able to break away and guard on the other side when the Penguins trying to pass it off.
So there's 6 seconds on the shot clock. Jenna Cook's going to have a free possession chance here, right here. Cook drives inside the shot, off the mark. That'll go out of play. 2 seconds on the shot clock. Actually, possession's going to go to George Washington. The shot clock was reset when it shouldn't have. But just 3 seconds remaining in the first quarter. The Revolutionaries will be able to just tick the final seconds off. They do, and that'll do it. First quarter is complete here today. 15 minutes through. Youngstown State on top of George Washington, 5-2. We'll be back with second quarter action from the Covelli Sports Complex after this.
Thanks everyone, especially Vicky. She's been with us since the beginning and saved us enough on our insurance to help us open our second location.
Auto Owners offers discounts for life, home, car, and business insurance because they think the more you protect, the more you should save. That's simple human sense.
Ask Champion Insurance of Austintown in Austintown if auto owners make sense for you.
Who are you talking to anyway?
It's a commercial.
That was a good one.
Yeah? Nice. Beautiful. Nice job, Ella.
You hear it all the time. Why Youngstown State University? Here's why. Because when it comes to engineering, medicine, sports, business, and the skills you need to take your place in the world, we take a backseat to nobody. Because we're the kind of people who look out for each other. Because we care about you, your success, and our future. Together, we are Youngstown State University. And now you know why.
Welcome back.
Not like to give up those free position opportunities because all the ones, almost every single one that Youngstown State has gotten, they've been able to execute on it.
Bolton and Shear back out to midfield for our opening draw of the second quarter. And the draw still on the ground as the ball, and the control will be scooped up by Stella Ray of George Washington. The Revolutionaries have been scoreless for quite some time here since their last goal. The last goal came with 7 minutes, 9 seconds remaining in our opening quarter. But the Revolutionaries with possession here to begin the second quarter. They're going to look to get some momentum here off of this opening possession. With it is Everly Kessler. Kessler going to have to pull it back out. Both teams were struggling early on with turnovers. George Washington had a lot of good looks on the Youngstown State side early on, but it was a combination of turnovers and saves by the Penguins goalkeeper and Borkowski that kept George Washington away from going on a run of their own. That shot from Phoebe Malarkey is a little bit too high, but the Revolutionaries will retain possession.
You got to give credit to Callie Vaudry there. Great job on the far right side, forcing it over.
And the Revolutionaries find the back of the net. They put an end to that scoreless drought. Here they find the back of the net with 1:15 seconds into our second quarter as we take another look. Right here, Kessler driving around from behind the net. And this goal was scored by Desiree Kleberg. Kleberg, grad student out of Huntington Station, New York, puts an end to the George Washington drought.
And for the Penguins, on that opportunity for the Revolutionaries, the defense broke down. There was nobody there, and that allowed it really just a free opportunity for the Revolutionaries there.
Kleberg, second on the team in goals coming into today. That was her her 16th of the season. She's had some really good games offensively for George Washington this season. She scored at least 3 goals 3 times this season, had a season-high 5 goals against Old Dominion back on March 5th. Our score now 5-3. Mia Caro of George Washington in goal. She has 1 save thus far today. Paige Borkowski has 3 for Youngstown State. And possession once again will go to the Revolutionaries. Can they build a run here in the second quarter? Kleberg working behind the net. She was going a little bit too quickly there. As the clock continues to roll.
You saw with that goal there by the Revolutionaries how much momentum is now with this team. Feels like it has really changed hands here early on.
They have a little bit of pep in their step as well, it seems like. They now have a chance to go on a run of their own after 3 consecutive goals from the Penguins. Mentioned George Washington coming off a 14-7 defeat. The drive, the shot, and another goal. Very quickly, Emma Nowakowski will now get her turn to find the back of the cage. Her 20th goal of the season. And George Washington quickly makes us a 1-goal deficit.
And Emma Nowakowski as well, just being able to rack up your 20th season goal is phenomenal. She has done a great job really being that veteran presence to lead this team, and she's making it look easy on that field.
Nowakowski, another grad student on this George Washington roster. George Washington have quite a bit of transfers coming into this year's team, so it might take a little bit of gelling, but the Revolutionaries are looking to hit their stride at the right time this season.
Well, we talked about Kleberg. She's a transfer from Quinnipiac. And as well with Nowakowski, she transferred from High Point.
So 2 goals within a span of 53 seconds from George Washington. And this is where controlling these draws can really work in your favor. Ball still on the turf, and possession will be given to Youngstown State, their first possession here of the second quarter.
They were still looking for a signal there. Everyone's still fighting for it. But again, the possession, the Revolutionaries, or with the Penguins, excuse me.
Kreutzer with it for YSU as they pass it around the back of the net. Both teams with 10 shots so far today. Youngstown State 1 more goal than George Washington. Cox has it jarred loose from behind. Nice stick work by George Washington. And they will force the turnover, and Bailey Aaron will take it the other direction.
Again, a lot of defenders there for the Revolutionaries, but Aaron did a nice job of tracking it down and scooping it up.
Ball now on the stick of Everly Kessler. Something to make note of, John. Combined 9 goals so far today for both teams from 9 different players. No one with multiple goals so far here in the first half.
Well, for the Penguins, they have 11 different athletes who have recorded a goal. So there's a lot of different goal scorers. Same could be said for the Revolutionaries.
Spinning inside, the shot by Kessler, saved by Borkowski. Nice job by Borkowski. Seeing the shot all the way through the clutter inside. And that's her first save here the second quarter.
And Romo, you actually saw a Penguin defender in there too. If Borkowski didn't get it, one of those Penguin defenders were going to scoop it up for her.
Nice pass up the field to Grotenthaler. And the Youngstown State offense will get things going once again. As the defense chants start to ring out once again from the George Washington sideline, that'll be another turnover for Youngstown State. Bailey Aaron will take it the other way.
Talk about that defense stepping up. That's what the Revolutionaries bench wanted, and they got it.
Nice find from Kleberg to Moran to inside, and the shot and the goal for Everly Kessler. 3 consecutive goals for George Washington to get things going here in the second quarter. Nice find, nice shot, and a nice goal from Everly Kessler. Amelia Moran in stride found Kessler. And just like that, John, we have a brand new ball game.
Kessler now reaches double-digit scoring in goals on the year now. 10th goal. So a lot of monumental occasions here. Farmers National Bank Field, especially with Nowakowski reaching the 20-goal mark. And now Kessler conference play for the Revolutionaries. That conference, the A-10, is as tough as it can be.
With this timeout, I'd like to take a look at the goals from the Revolutionaries so far here today. As you see Kleberg driving inside, finding the back of the net right there. It still continues. A lot of different goals scored from a lot of different players. Emma Nowakowski right there, and then this last goal right here from Everly Kessler. This 3-goal stretch from the Revolutionaries has tied this one up at 5 once again. And you talked about the Atlantic 10 Conference, John. They started up conference play. Every team in the conference has at least one conference game under their belt. Top record in the conference overall belongs to George Mason, who's 6-2 on the season, but they did lose their conference opener. Richmond then 5-2. A couple teams with 4 wins in St. Bonaventure and Davidson. You have George Washington and VCU towards the bottom of the standings thus far, but still a lot of lacrosse to be played for both teams this season.
St. Bonaventure, how about that? 3-game win streak for the Bonnies. And that A-10, again, very competitive. A lot of different teams getting involved and a lot of good records in that team as well, in that conference.
It's always good when you're able to get momentum from a long winning streak. I know from experience here at Youngstown State a few years ago, back in 2022, the Penguins won a share of the Mid-American Conference regular season title in their second season of lacrosse. 10-8 overall, but they had quite a winning streak, winning their last 5 regular season games, and their regular season finale was a 19-17 victory against Robert Morris on the road, which gave them a share of that regular season title. In any sport, a winning streak can go a long ways, both on and off the field. Morale, momentum. That St. Bonaventure team is going to be one to look out for in the A-10.
Builds confidence as well down the stretch.
Definitely. So back underway, coming out of the timeout. Youngstown State will have possession. Just over 10 minutes remaining here in our opening half. It's going to be a good look here for the Penguins inside, but a nice job with the double team by the Revolutionaries defensively. It'll be a free position opportunity now for Youngstown State. Katie Grotenthaler.
Called that a foul on Katie Hip down the left side there.
And the shot and the goal for Katie Grotenthaler, her 2nd of the day and her 7th of
health. Suddenly that word seems more important these days.
We are Youngstown State University, and now you know why.
6-5, Youngstown State puts an end to the George Washington 3-goal run. A free position goal by Katie Grotenthaler gives the Penguins the lead right back with 9:54 remaining here in our second quarter. Anthony Romo, John Ostapowicz back on the call here from sunny Youngstown inside the Cavelli Sports Complex. Not as many fans here as usual. Some families making attendance, but you can't really get the student support here with classes ongoing, with this being a 12 o'clock start here in the middle of the week. Hopefully the next game we'll get bigger attendance here. It's going to be conference opener for Youngstown State. It's going to be a Sunday afternoon start.
In these weekday games, they're tough for everybody, whether it be families, athletes, because it's tough to miss class, and a lot of different things go into it.
The shot right out of the media timeout, And another goal for Desiree Kleberg. Almost a carbon copy if you would have just flipped the screen from her first goal. Kleberg coming around the other side of the net this time. And she gets it past the stick of Borkowski. We'll take another look. Desiree Kleberg, second goal of the day and her 17th now of the season.
Now Desiree Kleberg, again, transfers from Quinnipiac this year, but at Quinnipiac, she had 89 career goals. She had a phenomenal career there, but now she translates that success here to the Revolutionaries, and she has done a great job for the offensive effort for this team.
Kleberg, grad student out of Huntington Station, New York, ties this one up at 6. And the offenses, John, they're starting to heat up.
You can see how gritty both teams are. Again, they're both hungry already. They've been down, and now they're both trying to get back in and get over this tied game here.
Both teams with 7 draw controls after YSU controlled that draw. The Penguins will look to answer the George Washington goal with one of their own. Lena Cox with it for Youngstown State. Cox has been quiet so far here today. She's been one of the top goal scorers this season for the Penguins. Garrett's shots off the mark, but YSU will retain possession.
Well, for Cox, it's hard to get around, the stout defense. There's a lot of, defenders on this team who are really tall. A couple of them over 5'7". So when you have a 5'3" frame, actually, Lena Cox is listed as 4'11". It's tough.
Another look inside for the Penguins. That ball deflected off the stick. YSU's had some good looks, but they haven't gotten any good shots off thus far. Grotenthaler will pass it off to Lena Cox. She gets double teamed. She's going to have to get rid of it. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Grotenthaler loses it. Ball bounces back out towards midfield. The Penguins, even if they keep possession, they're not going to be able to get a shot off. Nice job by the Revolutionaries forcing the shot clock violation, but a quick turnover by George Washington as they stepped out of bounds will give it right back to Youngstown State with a fresh shot clock. Tough break for the Revolutionaries. Stella Ray lost her balance. She was right on the end line. She couldn't keep herself in play.
This is where the Revolutionaries defense has to come into play here, giving that up, but now they're going to have to play double.
Nice ball movement inside. She played a big role for Quinnipiac. Last season scored 31 goals and tallied 11 assists for them. 3 here today. She's now up to 18 goals on the season. The Revolutionaries a chance now to add some cushion to this lead.
She's knocking on the door of 20.
Coming right on the back of her teammate Emma Nowakowski, who has 20 on the season. 1 goal so far today for Nowakowski. It's now the 4th time this season that Colonials looking to snap, the Revolutionaries looking to snap a 2-game losing streak.
And that's where your size comes in, especially when you're not even 5 foot. That's where your speed is, and it's really hard for taller players to track you down.
Mia Stahl now at the draws for Youngstown State. It remains Haley Bolton for George Washington. George Washington has controlled the draws today as a team 9-8, but now make it 9-9 as that one is scooped up by Katie Grotenthaler. Penguins looking to reclaim the lead as we are all tied up at 8. Youngstown State's led by as many as 3 when they took a 5-2 lead towards the end of the first quarter. But George Washington has fought back here, and they've had a lead of their own here at points here in the second quarter. Turnover for the Penguins and a heavy collision from Kreutzer. Luckily, no one's injured. And Stella Ray popped back up to her feet very quickly. And you kind of figure there's going to be a card given there to Ava Kreutzer. That's going to be a yellow card, so George Washington's going to be playing a woman up here for 2 minutes. We take another look right here. Just Kreutzer a little bit too out of control.
Yeah, really just a push down on the left and tough collision.
Luckily, though, Stella Ray able to pop back up, as we had mentioned. 2 minutes, 30 seconds to go here in the first half, and a very big opportunity for George Washington. Playing a woman up. For Youngstown State, you have one of your hottest players on offense who's going to be out for a majority here left here of the first half.
It's where defense is really going to come into play for the Penguins, but the Revolutionaries can really take advantage of this on the offensive side.
Yeah, luckily it's not too much harm done on the defensive end for Youngstown State, as Kreutzer's an attacker, so she wouldn't be back on this end of the field regardless. But it'll be tough. Youngstown State's going to need some other players to step up if they can get this possession back. 50 seconds remain on the shot clock. Desiree Kleberg has it. She has 3 goals so far in the first half. Revolutionaries working it behind the back shot and the goal. One of the best goals you'll see all season from Emma Nowakowski. We'll take another look. That one deserves a few extra looks. Nowakowski driving in behind the back shot, and George Washington will reclaim the lead.
Nowakowski, what just a back, just a little swing in the back, and that'll has a stunned up here. I mean, just the perfect execution down the stretch. Now she has 21 goals on the season. That's as perfect as it gets. That's kind of a circus back there.
I've only seen that one other time while I've been calling lacrosse, John. That was Natalie Calandra-Ryan for Youngstown State 2 seasons ago. Nowakowski. It was the same spot on the field too, John. I mean, off air, we'll take another look back at that one. Almost the same exact spot.
I mean, Nowakowski, graduate student, playing like a veteran. Only veterans do those kind of trick plays like that.
So that's quite an exhilarating way for the Revolutionaries to reclaim the lead at 9-8 here with 1 minute and 20 seconds remaining in the first half.
They're going to try and do it again. Wide open opportunity here, but the defense will be able to come and thwart them away.
Everly Kessler will pass it back out in front of the goal. Now on the stick of Kiki Rote. The Colonials will pass it around the perimeter. They have a chance here. Shot clock's effectively turned off. They're going to see him slow it down. If they can get another goal here and push it out to their first 2-goal advantage of the afternoon as we reach halftime, that's going to be a lot of momentum heading into the second half for the Revolutionaries.
Well, even for the Revolutionaries, just to play keep away and run the clock down with a 1-goal advantage heading into the locker room with the second half in mind, that would be great momentum for them being able to come out of the locker room and start to command things and salt this one away.
And a look here, moving inside, but a nice job by Youngstown State defensively getting in the passing lane, and they caused the turnover. That's the first or second time the Penguins have caused a turnover today. And here they come. 16 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. It's going to be a free position look here with the clock running down. 6 seconds remain here in our second quarter. It's going to stop now at 7.1 seconds.
They were hoping to wind this clock down and go to the locker room, but an opportunity for the Penguins here.
We're going to have to put some time back on the clock. Youngstown State should have more time than 7.1 seconds, I believe.
You're absolutely right,
yep,
Romo.
It's back
it
to
should.
15. I was just making sure I wasn't crazy there for a second, John.
Well, they get 8 extra seconds now to work with.
Driving inside is Garrett. She went too premature. That's going to be a turnover for Youngstown State. Went before the whistle. So now technically it didn't matter, but the Revolutionaries a tough time clearing it, but they finally do so. And that'll take us to halftime. A strong second quarter from George Washington where they outscore Youngstown State 7-3, and they'll take a 9-8 lead into the half, capitalized by an excellent goal from Emma Nowakowski. That'll take us to a break. Revolutionaries on top. We'll be right back with first half stats and analysis after this.
Yep. Nice. Beautiful. Nice job, Ella.
You hear it all the time. Why Youngstown State University? Here's why. Because when it comes to engineering, medicine, sports, business, and the skills you need to take your place in the world, we take a backseat to nobody. Because we're the kind of people who look out for each other. Because we care about you, your success, and our future. Together, we are Youngstown State University. And now you know why.
You ready to meet the latest addition to the family? The money you saved us with auto owners helped make it all possible. It really is the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Excuse me?
Third best thing.
Third best thing.
Auto Owners offers discounts for life, home, car, and business insurance because they think the more you protect, the more you should save. That's simple human sense.
Ask Gem Young Insurance in Canfield if auto owners make sense for you.
You hear it all the time. Why Youngstown State University? Here's why. Because when it comes to engineering, medicine, sports, business, and the skills you need to take your place in the world, we take a backseat to nobody. Because we're the kind of people who look out for each other. Because we care about you, your success, and our future. Together, we are Youngstown State University. And now you know why.
Health. Suddenly that word seems more important these days as it's consumed all aspects of our lives and made our universes feel smaller than ever. But at Mercy Health, your health has always been our top priority, and we're staying as committed as always to personalizing the right care for you. Because whether here or from home, we believe your health care should always revolve around you. Mercy Health, primary care for the universe of you. Visit mercy.com/primary care to connect with the provider today.
Thanks everyone, especially Vicky. She's been with us since the beginning and saved us enough on our insurance to help us open our second location.
Auto Owners offers discounts for life, home, car, and business insurance because they think the more you protect, the more you should save. That's simple human sense.
Ask the Griffith Agency in Girard if auto owners make sense for you.
Who are you talking to anyway?
It's a commercial.
Welcome back here inside the Covelli Sports Complex as we have reached halftime here. George Washington on top of Youngstown State, 9-8. Anthony Romo, John Ostapowicz back on the call. It was a very strong second quarter from the Colonials that has given them a 7-3 advantage in that quarter over the Penguins and has given them a 9-8 lead overall as we take a look at some of our first half stats. Draw controls are pretty even, John. You know, coming into today, I had thought that that was a category that George Washington would really be able to take advantage over the Penguins because Youngstown State this season, only 72 draw controls compared to 118 for their opponents. And George Washington has really controlled the draws compared to their opponents this season. But pretty even in that category. It's been a pretty even game almost all around. I guess the Revolutionaries really have an advantage in the ground balls category. But on the scoreboard, only a 1-goal lead. Youngstown State led for much of that first half. If you're Penguins head coach Rob Harris, you got to like where your team is here. 0-6 on the season. Not many games they've really been able to be close at halftime. Third quarter has been a really weak spot for both teams this season. So it's going to be big coming out of halftime for both sides.
And it is. It's going to be very, very tightly contested, especially for Coach McCaffrey first year, being able to work on halftime adjustments and what these teams have to do coming outside of the locker room. But Romo, you said it. It's being able to take control of the draw controls. And that's what they've done all season long. 115 coming in compared to 88 on the draw control. And that's been with Haley Bolton. She's been able to really be able to control that category. But how about those goals, Romo, from both of these teams? A hat trick already by Desiree Kleberg, and she has done a phenomenal job here in that first half alone.
So take a look at some of our first half highlights. I think both head coaches are telling their teams just how crucial this third quarter will be If you look at the side of George Washington, they were outscored 6-1 in the third quarter last time out against St. Bonaventure. Youngstown State got on the board early in the third quarter against Longwood on Saturday to make it 10-8, but then 5 consecutive goals from the Lancers let them effectively pull away. As we now continue to take a look at some first half highlights from our game here so far today, we'd like to make mention of some of the top statistical leaders for both sides. First, for the visiting Revolutionaries, Desiree Kleberg, 3 goals in the first half, 4th time this season that she has scored at least 3 goals for George Washington. Emma Nowakowski, also multiple goals in the first half for George Washington. She has 2. That comes with no surprises. Those are the top 2 goal scorers coming into the season. As you take a look at one of Nowakowski's 2 goals this season, or today, excuse me, she had a very flashy one right before the half, which gave George Washington this advantage that they currently sit with. Youngstown State, a lot of goals from a lot of different players. Katie Grotenthaler leads away with 2 goals. Other than that, everyone else, 1 goal so far today for the Penguins. Our 2 players in goal for Youngstown State, Paige Borkowski with 4 saves in the first 30 minutes. Mia Caro for George Washington has 3 saves so far here today. Pretty tightly contested early on, John. George Washington faced an early 3-goal deficit, but you got to give credit to him for being able to fight back, and they now hold a lead.
Yeah, and going into the second half, it's going to be about defense. Which one of these defenses are going to be able to kind of stop each other's offense, because they both have been red hot here in just the first half alone.
As we come towards the end of our first half highlights right here, just want to take another look at Nowakowski's goal there that gave George Washington that lead here heading into the break. Desiree Kleberg, great first half. We mentioned she has 3 goals, which is a game high so far. On the Youngstown State side, Lena Cox with the goal. But we're going to take one more break before we come back with second half action. George Washington on top of Youngstown State 9-8. Emma Nowakowski's goal will take us to the break. We'll be right back.
Good one.
Yep. Nice. Beautiful. Nice job, Ella.
You hear it all the time. Why Youngstown State University? Here's why. Because when it comes to engineering, medicine, sports, business, and the skills you need to take your place in the world, we take a backseat to nobody. Because we're the kind of people who look out for each other. Because we care about you, your success, and our future. Together, we are Youngstown State University. And now you know why.
You ready to meet the latest addition to the family? The money you saved us with auto owners helped make it all possible. It really is the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Excuse me?
Third best thing.
Third best thing.
Auto Owners offers discounts for life, home, car, and business insurance because they think the more you protect, the more you should save. That's simple human sense.
Ask Gem Young Insurance in Canfield if auto owners make sense for you.
You hear it all the time. Why Youngstown State University? Here's why. Because when it comes to engineering, medicine, sports, business, and the skills you need to take your place in the world, we take a backseat to nobody. Because we're the kind of people who look out for each other. Because we care about you, your success, and our future. Together, we are Youngstown State University. And now you know why.
Health. Suddenly that word seems more important these days, as it's consumed all aspects of our lives and made our universes feel smaller than ever. But at Mercy Health, your health has always been our top priority, and we're staying as committed as always to personalizing the right care for you. Because whether here or from home, we believe your health care should always revolve around you. Mercy Health, primary care for the universe of you. Visit mercy.com/primary care to connect with the provider today.
Thanks everyone, especially Vicky. She's been with us since the beginning and saved us enough on our insurance to help us open our second location.
Auto Owners offers discounts for life, home, car, and business insurance because they think the more you protect, the more you should save. That's simple human sense.
Ask the Griffith Agency in Girard if auto owners make sense for you.
Who are you talking to anyway?
It's a commercial.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Farmers National Bank Field. John Ostapowitz, Anthony Romo on the call as Youngstown State University is looking to get back into this game, especially for the Revolutionaries. An exciting first half as we start an even better second half. We're going to see here both teams as Haley Bolton tried to control the draw for the Revolutionaries and did just that. And they're looking to add a little bit more goal scoring to their total.
Yep, George Washington looking to add a little bit to this lead. They've had a few times today where they've had one goal advantages, John, but this is them still looking to kind of add some cushion to their lead, which they have not done so far today.
And that's what they're looking to do, add a little bit more cushion. As Youngstown State, they've had the cushion, but now they're looking to reverse that. Their offense trying to get a little bit more scoring in here.
Both teams after today will go back into conference play as we have a free position opportunity right here. The shot and the goal. So the Colonials are able to do so, as we mentioned. They build on their lead a little bit here. First time today they've had a multi-goal advantage. We'll take another look right here. Nowakowski stutters past the defender, gets good positioning, good leverage, and her third goal today will give the Colonials a 10-8 advantage.
So with that, two players for the Revolutionaries already have two hat tricks. Kleberg and now Nowakowski have hat tricks to go along with their offensive efforts.
Emma Nowakowski, grad student out of Arlington, Virginia. Mentioned John transferred in from High Point. That gives them a 10-8 advantage. Looking to snap a two-game losing streak here today. We mentioned both teams will go into conference play after today. George Washington has one non-conference game remaining this season. Actually, they have no non-conference games remaining on their schedule. They have Richmond dubbed as a non-A10 game, but that will be a conference game. They'll head back home to face off with Duquesne after today's matchup, and Youngstown State will stay at home for a 12 o'clock start in their Mid-American Conference opener against Kent State on Sunday.
For the Revolutionaries, it's nice to have all conference play left because you know your opponents, you know what to expect, and they're games that they can win down the stretch.
Yeah, definitely for both sides, and we've kind of talked about it at a few different points before the game and during the game here today. From Youngstown State's standpoint, the Mid-American Conference, a lot of teams have been struggling earlier on this season. Allie Garrett catches the pass inside before she hits the turf, and that's going to be a yellow card, a very high stick there from Katie Hipp. So we take another look right here, hits the head of Allie Garrett. It was inadvertent, though. I don't think that was purposely done. But nonetheless, Hipp will have a 2-minute penalty. And Allie Garrett's going to have an opportunity here, working straight away from the net with this free position look to bring the Penguins one goal closer.
And you're right, Roman. That was not intentional. But again, wrap-ups like that happen in the sport of lacrosse.
Garrett ready to go. The shot from very low from her body is off the mark. Nice job by Mia Caro. She has 4 saves today. Youngstown State's Paige Borkowski has 4 saves as well. Penguins will retain possession, 74 seconds on the shot clock. With it is Jenna Cook. She'll pass it off to Lena Cox.
That was a nice hip check, too. You go back to that, and again, nice job for the Penguins to get it back.
We're going to have an official stoppage in play. Timeout will be called by Youngstown State head coach and Rob Harris. 12:46 remaining here in the third quarter. We'll keep it right here for right now. We talked about Coach Harris in his first year at the helm here at Youngstown State after spending the past 9 seasons at Division II Davenport University, where he had a very good record of 102 wins to just 45 losses at Davenport. He also helped lead the Panthers to their first top 25 ranking in program history. Then on the other end for George Washington, as you take a look at head coach Colleen McCaffrey, she's assisted by Leah Peppelman this season. We talked about it earlier. Coach McCaffrey coming to George Washington after a very good stint as associate head coach at Bryant, where we talked about the very good season that the Bulldogs had last year, 7-1 in NEC play. Also spent time at the University of Virginia, where she coached 2 All-Americans during her 5 seasons there, and also spent 4 seasons as an assistant at American University. In this timeout, John, if you're Youngstown State, 64 seconds on the shot clock. If you're Coach Harris and you're trying to draw something up, who do you think is the best attacker that Youngstown State has had so far today, which would really give them a chance to find the back of the net?
I think for Youngstown State, they really have to get Lena Cox more involved, especially when you have tall defenders there. Utilize that size to kind of sneak in there. And Cox, you saw that opportunity that she had when she got one of the defenders off guard. Why not go back and do that again?
Yeah, Youngstown State. Katie Grotenthaler has 2 goals so far today, but 6 other players for the Penguins with 1 goal here today. For George Washington, their top 2 scorers, both with hat tricks thus far, Emma Nowakowski and Desiree Kleberg, both have 3 goals, and 4 other Revolutionaries have scored. So smart timeout used by Coach Harris. 64 seconds remain on the shot clock for Youngstown State. 1 minute, 34 seconds remaining on the yellow card for Katie Hipp.
And I think for the Penguins as well, really got to get Ava Kreutzer more involved. Haven't really mentioned her at all today. She's been very silent after, 2 games with 3 and 4 goals respectively, and now has 7 combined.
She was right on cue. She had a nice shot towards the goal, but it was saved by Mia Caro. I think she heard you talking up here, John.
I think she did. She wanted to silence us up here with a little bit of action on the offensive side.
Just over 12 minutes remaining in our third quarter. 10-8 George Washington. They've scored the lone goal so far here of the third quarter. It was Emma Nowakowski who found the back of the net. They're going to look to add on to this 2-goal advantage. This is the biggest lead they've had so far today. Youngstown State's biggest lead was at 3 goals when they led 5-2 in the second quarter. Revolutionary, still a lot of time remaining on the shot clock. Ball in the stick of Kessler, who passes it off now. Back to Everly Kessler. Under 40 seconds remaining on the George Washington shot clock. Working on the far side of the field. Back to Kessler. Good defensive possession for Youngstown State thus far. Now Phoebe Malarkey has it.
Great job by the Penguins defense here, really forcing them up out of their own territory here, away from the cage.
Kiki Rote has it. 5 seconds on the shot clock. George Washington is going to have to get a shot off. Rote comes around. The shot saved by Borkowski. Nice job by Paige Borkowski, her 5th save of the day.
We saw it right there, really hit the stick of Borkowski there, and she was able to scoop it back up and allow the Penguins to advance upfield.
We mentioned earlier Borkowski, a true freshman, the only goalkeeper on this Youngstown State roster. 10.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Garrett will pass it back around the perimeter for the Penguins. So they're going to look to get into an offensive set. Lena Cox has it. She'll pass it off. We're going to have a foul on George Washington. Coach McCaffrey not happy with that call whatsoever. It'll be Grace Run with a free position chance for Youngstown State.
That was called on Bailey Aaron. It looks like maybe she hit the Penguin with the stick.
Run shot off the mark. So no harm done to George Washington. Both teams with some substitutions. Alex Ofiero pass it off. Now up the field comes Emma McLaughlin. Penguins still scoreless for the first 5 minutes here of the third quarter.
And Romo as well with those substitutions. Take Kiki Rote as well as Bailey Aaron out. They're midfielders, so putting more defenders in there is going to be the key for the Revolutionaries, and that's what Coach McCaffrey has drawn up. Just play a lot of defense, don't allow anything up.
George Washington has scored the last 2 goals. Youngstown State's last goal came with 3:08 remaining in the second quarter. 33 seconds on the shot clock. Desiree Kleberg will pass it back out in front. The shot and the goal. The lead will continue to stretch. Emma McLaughlin finding the back of the net for George Washington, and the Revolutionaries with another player that has found the back of the net here today.
They've got a lot of involvement on the offensive side. Now up 3 goals.
McLaughlin's first goal of the season for the junior from Millersville, Maryland. That'll take us to immediate timeout. George Washington on top, 11-8. We'll be right back after this.
Thanks everyone, especially Vicky. She's been with us since the beginning and saved us enough on our insurance to help us open our second location.
Auto Owners offers discounts for life, home, car, and business insurance because they think the more you protect, the more you should save. That's simple human sense.
Ask Champion Insurance of Austintown in Austintown if auto owners make sense for you.
Who are you talking to anyway?
It's a commercial.
A good one.
Yeah. Nice. Beautiful. Nice job, Ella.
You hear it all the time. Why Youngstown State University? Here's why. Because when it comes to engineering, medicine, sports, business, and the skills you need to take your place in the world, we take a backseat to nobody. Because we're the kind of people who look out for each other. Because we care about you, your success, and our future. Together, we are Youngstown State University. And now you know why.
George Washington on top of Youngstown State, 11-8. With 9 minutes and 2 seconds remaining in our third quarter, the Revolutionaries with their first 2 goals here scored of the third quarter to push this lead out to the largest it's been today for them. Emma McLaughlin with her first goal of the season, coming off a Desiree Kleberg assist. Anthony Romo, John Ostapowitz back on the call here today. And another game, John, where the third quarter has been very tough for Youngstown State.
Romo, you just took the words right out of my mouth. I was just going to say that the third quarter has really been tough for the Penguins, and the same could be said for the Revolutionaries. But now in the third quarter, the halftime adjustments really proving in their favor thus far.
Youngstown State on the season has been outscored 26-14 in third quarters. We mentioned they made it 10-8 against Longwood on Saturday before the Lancers scored 5 consecutive goals to effectively pull away from Youngstown State in that one. George Washington, on the other hand, they've been outscored 31-17 in third quarters this season. That is the most goals they've given up in any period this season. So very good start for them. 6 minutes into our third quarter, and Youngstown State is still scoreless. And the scoreless streak stretches 9 minutes as the Penguins' last goal came with 3:08 to go in the second quarter. That was a goal by Lena Cox.
Well, we talked about the offensive control in the time of possession, but now it feels like the Revolutionaries are starting to use that in their favor now.
Emma Nowakowski controls the draw. Now 12 draw controls for the Colonials compared to 10 for Youngstown State. Revolutionaries have it. Desiree Kleberg with the possession. She'll pass it off to Phoebe Malarkey, looking back for the cutter and her teammate of Grace Curry, but the pass was over her head. It'll go out of play. Possession to Youngstown State. It's been a pretty clean game thus far as well. I want to say we've had 2 green cards and a yellow card combined so far here today. Haven't had too many hard fouls thus far.
For both teams, it's a very positive thing not to have that much, just allowing them to play and just let the goals do the talking.
And it's doing that tremendously for George Washington here in the third quarter. 11-8 advantage. Penguins looking to put an end to this scoreless drought. Lena Cox has it. She'll pass it over to Jenna Cook. Cook trying to work on the defender, but a nice job defensively by George Washington. Cook will have to get rid of it. That was great defense by Stella Ray. But here comes the Penguins once again trying to push it. Molly Sheridan will pass it off. Sheridan driving inside. Pass to her deflected. Inside, Garrett with the chance. Shot was high. Penguins will retain possession with 20 seconds remaining on the shot clock.
Yet another circus play. You saw that deflected up in the air and Garrett able to come away with it.
Cook looking for the cutter and Lena Cox. Her pass is wide. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Jenna Cook driving inside. She'll pass it off to Lena Cox. 1 second remaining. That'll be a shot clock violation. A great defensive possession for George Washington. Youngstown State couldn't get a good look on that possession, and the Revolutionaries will get it right back. They're going to quickly push it into the Youngstown State territory. Ball goes out of play. It'll stay with George Washington. Under 6.5 minutes to go here in our third quarter. Revolutionaries looking to push the lead up to 4. Desiree Kleberg has it. She has 3 goals thus far today. Looking to pass it inside, and a foul's going to be called on Youngstown State. Stick up a little bit too high, and that'll give a free position attempt to the Revolutionaries and number 27, Grace Curry. Curry, 1 goal so far today. The shot saved by Borkowski. So a nice job defensively by the Penguins.
Borkowski doing a lot of work here in the back of the cage for the Penguins already. Now a lot more shots faced here just in the third quarter alone.
Callie Vaudry will pass it off to Sheridan over to Lena Cox. As we approach 5.5 minutes to go here in our third quarter. Katie Grotenthaler now has it. Defended by Stella Ray. We said Ray's name a lot today. Cox driving in the shot, wide of the net. Youngstown State will keep it though. 51 seconds remain on the shot clock.
And Cox's elusiveness, just able to squeeze around the defender, and she tried to fit it in there but could not.
Penguins turn it over once again. We're going to have a stoppage in play. And Youngstown State will end up getting it back. George Washington moving too quickly.
George Washington coming into this game as well, 98 turnovers compared to 87. So both teams are pretty equal when it comes to turnovers. Again, Youngstown State came in with 103, so it's all about keeping your stick to you, cradling, and being able to keep possession. But again, it's tough when you're running. There's a lot of people coming after you. It's all about keeping it to you.
So the Penguins with possession back. Pass over to Lena Cox. Cox driving inside, the shot and the goal. The Penguins finally able to put an end to their scoreless drought. Lena Cox finds the back of the net here with 4:31 to go in the third quarter as we take another look right here. Using the acceleration, gets a good angle, and she finds the back of the net.
Well, Romo, we talked about her a little bit, a player that needed to get involved, and now she did. 2 goals now in this game alone, and that's what the Penguins needed. More production from her, and they got it. And she was able to cut this deficit down just a little bit now. Still 2 goals away, but the Revolutionaries now looking to shore up on the defensive side.
So back down to a 2-goal deficit. Here with 4 minutes, 31 seconds to go in our third quarter. On the draw, it'll be Haley Bolton for George Washington and Mia Stahl for Youngstown State. Penguins netting their first goal of the third period. Ball still on the turf as Nowakowski lost her footing, and Youngstown State has it. A quick chance here for the Penguins. The shot saved. That was a very good look for Callie Vondry, who had it and had leverage on the defender, but the Penguins could not take advantage. And a good save by Mia Caro in the net.
You had Parker Kranz for the Revolutionaries there on that side running with Vondry, and it was really tough to get a shot off.
Stella Ray working right down the middle of the field. She'll pass it off. George Washington quickly pushes it into Youngstown State territory. Under 4 minutes to go here in our third quarter. Still anyone's ball game here at the Covelli Sports Complex.
Especially with both of these teams going back and forth. A lot of fight still left in both of them.
The shot off the crossbar, and it'll come out to Allie Garrett for Youngstown State. So the Penguins catching another break. Shot from Aaron hit the post. Chance here for YSU to cut into this deficit once again. Garrett passes it back to Grotenthaler. Over to Jenna Cook. Youngstown State's going to slow it down offensively. Penguins continue to look to chip into this deficit. Kreutzer will now pass it back behind the net. 50 seconds on the shot clock. Grotenthaler, multiple goals today, could not add to the total right there, though. Mia Caro had her stick on the turf. And the shot was unable to get past her.
Mia Caro again, very efficient, 360 minutes in the cage this season, allowed 82 goals coming into the game, saved 61, faced 155 shots. But how about last year getting a lot of work as she faced 499 shots, allowed 223 goals, but still had a 42.4% save percentage.
It's a lot of shots.
It is, especially when you have to do that much work in there. That's tough, but she did a great job last year.
George Washington, another costly turnover to give it back to Youngstown State. And here come the Penguins. Mia Caro's had a pretty good third quarter. She has 8 saves today. Does she have another one in her? Or can the Penguins cut this deficit in half?
And both teams making a lot of shots, 25 apiece.
Both offenses have had some good looks. Jenna Cook driving inside, her shot off the mark. But YSU will retain possession.
She would have backed up just a little bit. That would have been right under the feet of Caro, and that would have went right in.
Here comes Grace Rund with it. She'll back it out now. 31 seconds remain on the shot clock. Penguins working on the right side. Pass back towards the middle. Looking for Kreutzer, but she couldn't get it. That'll be a turnover. Picked up by Stella Ray. Now Desiree Kleberg comes with it. Under a minute to go here in our third quarter. Can George Washington make this a 3-goal lead once again? Nowakowski has it. Her shot saved by Borkowski. 17 seconds remain in the third quarter. Do the Penguins have one final push? Looks like they're not in any hurry. Now at 10 seconds. They'll get it across midfield at 8. Here they come right down the middle. Run passes it off. 3 seconds remain. Good look inside. The shot from Rund is too late, didn't find the back of the cage regardless. That'll take us to the end of the third quarter. A 2-goal lead for George Washington, 11-9. Youngstown State looking to fight their way back when we return here from the Covelli Sports Complex.
You ready to meet the latest addition to the family? The money you saved us with auto owners helped make it all possible. It really is the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Excuse me?
Third best thing.
Third best thing.
Auto Owners offers discounts for life, home, car, and business insurance because they think the more you protect, the more you should save. That's simple human sense.
Ask Siebert Keck Insurance in Youngstown if auto owners make sense for you.
Health. Suddenly that word seems more important these days as it's consumed all aspects of our lives and made our universes feel smaller than ever. But at Mercy Health, your health has always been our top priority, and we're staying as committed as always to personalizing the right care for you. Because whether here or from home, we believe your health care should always revolve around you. Mercy Health, primary care for the universe of you. Visit mercy.com/primary care to connect with the provider today.
You hear it all the time. Why Youngstown State University? Here's why. Because when it comes to engineering, medicine, sports, business, and the skills you need to take your place in the world, we take a backseat to nobody. Because we're the kind of people who look out for each other. Because we care about you, your success, and our future. Together, we are Youngstown State University. And now you know why.
Start of the fourth quarter. George Washington on top of Youngstown State, 11-9. Anthony Romo, John Ostapowicz back on the call here today from Youngstown State University. It's been a highly contested game thus far. We'll see if Youngstown State can make a run here in the fourth quarter or if George Washington can effectively pull away.
Now with Youngstown State down by 2 goals, Revolutionaries defense looking to play a crucial role. And for Youngstown State University's offense, they're looking to accumulate some more scoring in that category to either tie or put this one away. But for the Revolutionaries, again, they're looking to stand tall.
Leading goal scorers today, both for George Washington. Emma Nowakowski and Desiree Kleberg, each with 3 goals. As you take a look at some team statistics for George Washington, 11 goals on 26 shots, with 19 of them being on goal. For Youngstown State, the Penguins have 9 goals on 27 shots, with 18 of them being on goal. YSU 9 free position shots to just 2 for George Washington today. Colonials as a team, 12 ground balls to 4 for Youngstown State. Draw controls have been pretty even. Colonials have 1 more draw control than YSU. And the turnovers, YSU has 1 more turnover than George Washington with 10-9 for the Revolutionaries.
We knew that coming into this, the turnovers would really tell the tale of 2 halves. And, you know, both teams having a lot of turnovers. And here, they've been pretty much even. Youngstown
State, 2 players with 2 goals here today. Lena Cox and Katie Grotenthaler both have 2. Cox has a team-high 6 shots. Kleberg has a team-high 6 shots for George Washington. As we begin our fourth quarter, George Washington will have first possession. Revolutionaries looking to snap a 2-game losing skid and improve to 3-6 on the season. Youngstown State looking for their first win of the year as they are 0-6 coming into today.
Youngstown State, they have the talent, but how about that tough schedule that they've really had this season? Especially, again, 3 Power 5 opponents, University of Oregon, Ohio State University, and the University of Cincinnati. I mean, those are no easy teams to go and face.
Definitely. Revolutionaries come up empty on their first possession of the fourth quarter. Bailey Aaron's shot was saved by Paige Borkowski. That was her 9th save of the day. Mia Caro of George Washington also with 9 saves of her own. Penguins looking to cut this lead in half.
And the goalies for both teams have really been a pivotal part of this game. I mean, facing a lot of shots and saves. I mean, they have done a great job in the back of the cage.
Brooke Peck has it for YSU. She loses possession. George Washington forces the turnover. Coming with it the other direction is Katie Hipp.
And they're going fast.
Trying to catch this Penguins defense off guard. Their pass inside. Looking for Phoebe Malarkey. Went right into the stick of Paige Borkowski of the Penguins. Beautiful day here in Youngstown. Clear skies. Sun is shining. About 65 degrees here today.
Again, this is great lacrosse weather, especially get to be outside on your own home field.
This is the second outdoor home game this year for Youngstown State. Their home opener was inside the Watson and Tressel training site against Ohio State back in February. Brooke Peck working to the right side of the net. Good defense by the Revolutionaries will make her give it away. 45 seconds on the shot clock. Nice shot! And that one sneaks into the back of the cage. The 10th goal of the day for Youngstown State. That makes it a 1-goal deficit, and Jenna Cook is responsible for it. We'll see her catch the defender off guard, switches sides, and the shot is right past the stick of Caro. Jenna Cook, another freshman for this Youngstown State team. She finds the back of the net.
And how about that opportunity by Cook there for the Penguins, just being able to catch the defender off guard, but how about the low stick and the low goal as well? Just zip past everybody on that one, and just a great opportunity and execution.
Second goal of the day for Cook, now the third Penguin that has recorded 2 goals here today, and that'll make it 11-10. Now these draw controls become so critical here in the fourth quarter for both sides, and George Washington's able to come up with the possession. Stella Ray has it. She'll pass it off. Youngstown State now, they're going to have to be exceptional defensively to try to stop these hot attackers for George Washington. And Nowakowski and Kleberg both already with hat tricks today.
For Youngstown State, it would be beneficial to cause more turnovers. Only 2 that were caused.
Nice save by Borkowski. And the Penguins will get possession back. Borkowski effectively clears it. Both teams have been fairly good at clearing the ball out here today. Allie Garrett fields the high pass.
In the back of the cage, it is so essential for any goalie to be able to clear it out. That allows your offense to reset and head up towards midfield the other way.
Brooke Peck has it. Trying to work past the defense, but George Washington's doing a good job staying in front. Penguins going to have to find an open player. They're not doing the best job moving without the ball so far here today, and a heavy collision driving inside, and that's going to be a foul on the Revolutionaries. I believe Grotenthaler was driving inside. She left her feet, kind of got her legs taken out from under her.
And she did. There was a defender there.
Got clipped while she was in the air. Grotenthaler will pass it off. 38 seconds remain on the shot clock. Lena Cox has it. Trying to work towards the middle. Looking to get rid of it. Loose ball on the turf. And it'll eventually be scooped up by Stella Ray. Ray today is 5 ground ball controls for George Washington.
She's really done a great job in that category, and you saw it kind of get away a little bit. She was out there to scoop it up.
Youngstown State has scored the lone goal so far here in the fourth quarter. George Washington's last goal came with 9 minutes remaining in the third quarter. It was a goal by Emma McLaughlin. YSU's been trying to battle back. Their defense has done a good job, but their offense has stagnated so far here in the second half for the most part. Saved by Borkowski, but George Washington will keep possession.
talked about the third quarter for both teams, but, you know, the fourth quarter for the Penguins has really been a defensive showing.
That shot off the mark from Emma Nowakowski. And a double team in the corner by the Revolutionaries. And George Washington will get possession back. Fresh shot clock. 9 minutes, 30 seconds remaining here in regulation. Revolutionaries have played one overtime game this season. Youngstown State has not played an overtime thus far. Kleberg will pass it off to Bailey Aaron. Does YSU have another empty possession defensively in them? Phoebe Malarkey will pass it off. Over to Kessler. Nice look inside. Penguins, though, doing a good job standing tall defensively. They force another turnover. That's the 12th today for George Washington.
Just a great effort there, especially from Jocelyn Fike out there for the defense to be able to take it away.
Coach Rob Harris waving his arms, telling his team to settle down, slow it down.
And he's absolutely right, especially 8:29 and some change left in the fourth quarter, and would like to settle down and just control the time of possession, because, again, you can tie this up relatively quickly.
First meeting all time between these two schools. Penguins looking to tie it up. Lena Cox, stutter step past the defender, nice look inside, the shot and the goal. Emma Hoffman, with her second goal of the day, was lurking around the right side of the cage. We'll take another look right here. Was unattended. She gets the pass and sneaks it in the right corner of the goal past Caro, and we are all tied up. That'll take us to immediate timeout. 8 minutes, 6 seconds remaining in regulation. Don't go anywhere. Very highly contested ball game between Youngstown State and George Washington.
You ready to meet the latest addition to the family? The money you saved us with auto owners helped make it all possible. It really is the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Excuse me?
Third best thing.
Third best thing.
Auto Owners offers discounts for life, home, car, and business insurance because they think the more you protect, the more you should save. That's simple human sense.
Ask Siebert Keck Insurance in Youngstown if auto owners make sense for you.
Health. Suddenly that word seems more important these days as it's consumed all aspects of our lives and made our universes feel smaller than ever. But at Mercy Health, your health has always been our top priority, and we're staying as committed as always to personalizing the right care for you. Because whether here or from home, we believe your health care should always revolve around you. Mercy Health, primary care for the universe of you. Visit mercy.com/primary care to connect with the provider today.
You hear it all the time. Why Youngstown State University? Here's why. Because when it comes to engineering, medicine, sports, business, and the skills you need to take your place in the world, we take a backseat to nobody. Because we're the kind of people who look out for each other. Because we care about you, your success, and our future. Together, we are Youngstown State University. And now you know why.
Welcome back inside the Cavelli Sports Complex here on the campus of Youngstown State University. A goal by Emma Hoffman has tied this game up at 11 with 8 minutes and 6 seconds remaining in our fourth quarter. Anthony Romo, John Ostapowitz back on the call. John, George Washington took an 11-8 lead with 9 minutes and 2 seconds remaining in our third quarter. But ever since then, the Penguins have held George Washington scoreless for the last 16 minutes of play. And they have scored the last 3 goals to tie this ball game up at 11 apiece.
We have to give Coach Harris credit on the defensive side of the ball. It was tightly contested all the way through 3 quarters. Now in the fourth quarter, defensively, Youngstown State is really shored up, and that has allowed no goals by the Revolutionaries. And this is a tied ball game here on Farmers National Bank Field. And how about that pass by Lena Cox as well? 2 goals, 2 assists, 4 points already in this game.
Shearer and Bolton were on the draw. Possession given to the Youngstown State Penguins. We're going to have a quick stoppage. Our officials are going to gather up and talk real quick. With the quick stoppage, we'd like to give a happy birthday shout out to Larry Sheridan, watching the game in Kensington, Maryland. The uncle of Molly Sheridan of Youngstown State. Happy birthday, Mr. Sheridan. 7:56 to go here in our fourth and final quarter. Youngstown State looking for their first win of the season. George Washington looking to snap a 2-game losing streak. Both teams looking head back into conference play on a bright note.
For both teams, no matter the outcome of the game, it's going to be a confidence booster moving forward, especially Youngstown State. You have MAC conference play coming up, and then for the Revolutionaries, you got A10 conference play coming up. So a lot of games for both of these teams, and especially with conference play, always a tough outing.
George Washington will return home on Saturday to host Duquesne in A10 action. Youngstown State will host Kent State on Sunday, a noon start here at the Cavelli Sports Complex. Our officials still trying to get everything situated. 7:56 to go. Green card penalty given to Stella Ray of George Washington. Excuse me, green card given to Haley Bolton. It's just wrong on the scoreboard.
Her hair was covering the 1, so it looked like a 4.
No, it says 12 on the scoreboard. That's what I was just saying. I was going to say, that doesn't look like a 2 on the jersey. 7:56 to go. Youngstown State with possession. Penguins looking to reclaim the lead. And a foul on the Revolutionaries will give them an opportunity to do so. Katie Grotenthal is going to have a free position chance here.
So back-to-back fouls by the Revolutionaries here, especially with the green card. Now they have an opportunity.
Shot is wide. Possession will go to George Washington. Youngstown State, 31 shots today, 11 goals. George Washington, 29 shots, 11 goals themselves. Here comes Stella Ray flying down the far side of the field. Seven minutes, 11 seconds remain in the fourth quarter. Pass back out to Phoebe Malarkey. She'll pass it over to Desiree Kleberg. Kleberg and Nowakowski for George Washington, both 3 goals here today. Game highs.
Penguins defense really making it tough for any opportunity here for the Revolutionaries.
You know, the farther the time starts to tick away, down to 6:43 to go, 35 seconds on the shot clock. You got to think if both teams can have some long-lasting possessions, they're both looking at about 3 possessions each remaining here today.
Both teams hoping to control the time of possession because, again, any score, they can try and ice it away.
Malarkey shot, saved by Borkowski. Paige Borkowski now up to 12 saves here today. 4th time this season. She's had 10-plus saves for the Penguins.
Well, you saw in the initial shot there, she didn't initially save it, and she looked down and she figured that she really did not save it, so she had to scoop it up and get it back out into the field of play.
So YSU looking to reclaim the lead under 6 minutes to go. Penguins have not led in quite some time. Pass was wide. YSU's able to keep it in play, though. Lena Cox has it working on the right side. 3 consecutive goals for the Penguins. Can they make it 4? Look inside. Ball is deflected out of the stick. But we're going to have a foul on George Washington. That'll give Youngstown State a free position opportunity.
Phoebe Malarkey on that, and it was just a little bit too much. tried to force a turnover, but a little bit too much force bearing down and forcing the foul.
Chance here for Grace Run. The shot wide of the net. Whose possession going to be given to? It'll be the Penguins. They'll keep it. 56 seconds on the shot clock. 5 minutes, 15 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. Can the Penguins get their first win of the season here today? Lena Cox with it. Spins off the defender. Good look. The shot. Wide. YSU gets it once again, though. Both goalkeepers, a lot on their plate here in the fourth quarter.
This is where the goalkeepers really start to anticipate goals because now they're going to go quick.
Cox has it once again. In and out move on the defender. Whistle's going to be blown. 17 seconds on the shot clock. They stop it at 16. 4:39 to go in the fourth quarter. Lena Cox is going to have a free position attempt from a tough angle here on the right side. She's going to drive in. She'll pass it back out. Brooke Peck now has it. Peck's pass to the cutting Penguin off the mark. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Garrett hits the turf hard. She's still down. George Washington's going to get it going the other direction.
And a tough hit, too. Saw a lot of collision there, and Garrett is still shaken up.
And we'll have a stoppage in play. Allie Garrett, like you said, hit the turf very hard. 4 minutes, 14 seconds remaining here in regulation. Stoppage in play as the trainer's going to come out and attend to Garrett. She's in a lot of pain pointing to her hip.
I mean, when she landed, you saw how forceful it was, especially the collision trying to make an attempt, but just really landed awkwardly. And it was just, she did a great job on trying to make a play. But again, you'll see here, just tried to get it, got tangled up in the foot of the defender trying to make a play and just landed hard.
All her momentum landing on her right leg. Unorthodox way to go down.
And she was really going fast, too, and you saw that.
Allie Garrett, sophomore out of West Henrietta, New York. She bursted onto the scene for Youngstown State last season as a freshman. She was 5th on the team in goals with 22. She has 6 goals on the season. Make it 7 now as she has a goal here today. Garrett, after last season with so much roster turnover, she returned as one of the most experienced players on this roster. She was one of the few that stayed last season, especially on the offensive side. When you look at the goals, Garrett, we mentioned, was 5th on this team in goals last season, but she was one of the leading returners in goals this season. The Penguins have had so many freshmen that have stepped up this season to aid Garrett. She was able to get to her feet. It still is going to take a lot of walking to make her way over to the sideline. We'll see if she can make it there under her own power. Garrett's still holding her backside. 4 minutes, 14 seconds remaining here in regulation. Youngstown State and George Washington all tied up, 11 apiece. Last goal came with 8 minutes and 6 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. It was an Emma Hoffman goal for Youngstown State to tie it up. The Penguins have held George Washington scoreless for the last 20 minutes of game time. Their last goal came with 9 minutes and 2 seconds remaining in the third quarter. It was a goal from Emma McLaughlin. Youngstown State's last lead came all the way back in the first half when they led 6-5 on a goal by Katie Grotenthaler with 9 minutes and 54 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Play is back underway. 72 seconds remaining on the shot clock. So still over a minute here for the Revolutionaries. Good look, driving inside, and the goal is scored by Bailey Aaron. So George Washington reclaims the lead with 3 minutes and 54 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. We'll take another look right here. Aaron able to get past Jocelyn Fike, had a good look, and she gets it past Borkowski, and the Revolutionaries back out in front.
Aaron now, second goal of this game. But again, still a lot of time left the way this game has been going, especially 3:54 now. Anything is possible. Youngstown State can still try and tie this thing up. But for the Revolutionaries, they want to keep that score right where it is.
Bailey Aaron, her second goal of the day. The senior out of Basking Ridge, New Jersey. Could that be the deciding goal here today? Now these draw controls become so critical, even more for the Penguins. They'll get the possession. So they have another opportunity right here.
And that was crucial for the Penguins there to be able to force the draw control.
If you're YSU, you're looking at 2, maybe 3 more possessions here today. So you got to find a way here to try to get a good look. Lena Cox has it, driving inside, spins off the defender, the shot off the mark. George Washington comes up with the possession. Great save by Caro in goal.
Parker Kranz as well was in there. Nice job defensively.
Pass was off the mark. George Washington will retain possession. 3 minutes on the dot remaining here in the fourth quarter. For the Colonials, you think they might try to slow it down here, take a lot of time off the clock. If they can get one more goal here, it could put them in a really good spot to snap this 2-game losing streak. Phoebe Malarkey has it. 2 minutes, 33 seconds remaining here in regulation. Goal scored by Bailey Aaron with 3 minutes and 54 seconds. Gave George Washington the lead once again. Under halfway remaining here on the shot clock. 41 seconds remain. 2 minutes, 13 seconds remain in the fourth quarter. Malarkey passes it off. Over to Nowakowski, who passes it off once again. Youngstown State's defense, you're going to have to come up empty here. The shot and the goal. That might be the dagger right there. 1:54 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. Another goal scored by George Washington. We'll take another look right here. Tough job receiving the pass, but the goal was scored by Shea Baguette. A timeout will be called by Youngstown State head coach and Rob Harris. 1 minute, 54 seconds remaining in regulation. You can see the celebration on the George Washington side. First goal scored of the day for Baguette, and it might be the dagger.
Season. Yep, her second of the season for Baguette as well. Great opportunity, saw it, was able to get it, especially with George Washington now 14 draw controls and 26 shots, 25 shots on goal on the day. They've had a great outing here on the campus of Youngstown State University, but again, they're looking to keep this score where it is. They've done a tremendous job. Romo, we saw that they had no goal scored in the fourth. Youngstown State went up 2-0 in just the fourth quarter, and they were able to come back and get 2 goals of their own. You see how quickly they were able to turn that around.
Coach Harris talking to his team during this timeout. Youngstown State, it all starts with this draw right here coming up. You're going to need to control this draw. You're going to need to push it quickly down the field as we're in the last minute here of this timeout by Coach Harris. George Washington coming off a 14-7 defeat last time out against St. Bonaventure. They've held the lead for most of the second half here today, but Youngstown State fought their way all the way back in after trailing 11-8. They made it 11-11. You know, the tides really turned when Youngstown State lost Allie Garrett, I think. She went down with an injury a couple minutes ago in the fourth quarter, and ever since then, George Washington has scored 2 quick goals. And they're now under 2 minutes away from getting their 3rd win of the season.
I mean, Romo, you really lose your veteran presence. I mean, even though she's a sophomore, last year she had that, you know, veteran swagger, as you would say. She did a great job last year and now brings that experience from last year into this year, and she has really done a great job of commanding this team.
Jade Shear will be out at midfield for the draw for Youngstown State. It'll be Haley Bolton for George Washington. And we are back underway here. 1 minute, 54 seconds remaining in our fourth quarter. Our head referee making sure no one has any extra leverage here on this draw.
Trying to make it fair for all parties. They have equal opportunity.
Ball's in the air, and possession will go to George Washington. And now they can really milk this clock if they take all 90 seconds. Game clock and shot clock separated by about 10 seconds, 9 seconds. Colonials have it. It's been a big day. The wealth has been spread. They have 3 girls that have had at least 2 goals here today. We mentioned Nowakowski and Kleberg both with hat tricks with 3 goals. Bailey Aaron has 2 goals as well. Nowakowski currently has it for the Revolutionaries. Youngstown State's going to have to try to force a turnover here. Kleberg splits the defenders, driving inside. Pass over to Nowakowski. Great look. The shot and the goal. 4th goal of the day for Emma Nowakowski. And now 3 consecutive goals for the Colonials to push this lead back up to 14-11. Nowakowski now 23 goals on the season.
Well, you see for Nowakowski, there was no defenders there. It was just a one-on-one with Borkowski, and those are one of the hardest positions that you put yourself in as a goalie. It's your defense that breaks down, and now you have to go one-on-one, and that's tough, especially with a player such as Nowakowski. And you go back to that, too, during that play, Borkowski stepped up and played defense. There was nobody guarding the goal at all, so that really allowed the Revolutionaries to take their time and find a wide open opportunity.
It's a really good find from Desiree Kleberg, who had her 2nd assist of the day. She's up to a team-high 5 points. If you're wondering if that's a season high for Emma Nowakowski in goals in a game, that's far from it. She had 7 goals against Old Dominion back on March 5th. Also had 6 goals against Robert Morris back on March 2nd. Under 50 seconds remaining here in our 4th quarter. Desperation time for the Penguins. Pass inside, looking for Peck. Still on the turf. And George Washington will come up with it. That'll be the 15th turnover today for Youngstown State. And you can see the emotion from Coach Colleen McCaffrey calling the timeout. 33.1 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter. And it looks like George Washington is going to be able to get their 3rd win of the season as they head back to conference play this weekend.
How about that, Romo? And when you look at the Revolutionaries, the only time that they have been outscored in a quarter is the first, 5-2, and then they went on to outscore Youngstown State 7-3, 2-1 in the 3rd, and now the 4th, 3-2. So all that Youngstown State had was that 4th quarter. And the Revolutionaries were able to outscore the Penguins every single quarter after that, and that's coach adjustments there. That is a great offensive attack. Just 7 goals scored in the 2nd quarter. That's where the Revolutionaries really turned things on, and now they were down a little bit in the 4th. Their defense kind of stuttered a little bit, allowed Youngstown State to get on the board. But now how about that? A great, stout defensive performance and offensive performance now allowed them to not only get on the board, but now have a commanding lead, getting ready to end this game if they can hold on.
Couldn't have said any better myself, John. You touched all parts there during this timeout. George Washington, we mentioned they'll face off with Duquesne this Saturday back at home. Youngstown State, they will stay home to face off with Kent State on Sunday. It'll be their Mid-American Conference opener. Coming up, taking a look at the MAC standings. No teams have played any conference games yet. Akron has the most wins in non-conference. They're 4-5 on the season. Looks like Youngstown State, barring a big comeback, will move to 0-7. Detroit Mercy's 0-7. Central Michigan is 0-8 here so far this season. After the next home game for Youngstown State, they'll have 3 consecutive games on the road before returning home on March 31st. We mentioned George Washington heading back home for 1 game before they go on the road to take on St. Joseph's on March 20th. So 33.1 seconds remaining. George Washington will have possession. Coach Colin McCaffrey calling the timeout after the turnover. Now Youngstown State will do everything they can to try to cause a turnover right here. Foul on the Penguins. Possession will stay with Kleberg, and now she'll pass it off. The Penguins are going to put all the pressure they can on Phoebe Malarkey. She'll get it across midfield. Clock down to 5 seconds. We're going to have a foul called on the Penguins. They're just going to keep the clock rolling here. Down to 1, and that'll do it. George Washington, your winners here today, 14-11. Youngstown State was able to get a late push to tie it up at 11 halfway through our 4th quarter. But George Washington, the experience showed. They scored the last 3 goals of the game. They move to 3-6 on the season. Youngstown State will drop to 0-7. Emma Nowakowski, 4 goals today to lead the way for George Washington. Desiree Kleberg had 3 goals and 2 assists to have a team-high 5 points. Youngstown State, 4 players with 2 goals here today. Lena Cox, Katie Grotenthaler, Emma Hoffman, and Jenna Cook. We'll be right back here Sunday as Youngstown State will take on Kent State in their Mid-American Conference opener, a 12 o'clock start here at the Cavelli Sports Complex. For John Ostapowitz, I'm Anthony Romo saying so long here from Youngstown State. George Washington, your winners here today, 14-11.